Spacious skies, amber waves, purple mountains.
Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? How are you?
Very, very good, thank you. I wish my Spanish was better. I mean, or actually even existent.
we can try and practice.
Probably not the best time.
Guys, I love the series. It's amazing. It's mind-blowing. Just watching it, I felt so little and so special about being part of this country and this world. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing the series with us.
Great. Well, I'm glad it had the desired effect. I mean, that really was what we were hoping to do, was to basically bring together Americans over how special their wildlife and how special their landscape is, and sort of just help people understand that, you know, what an amazing continent you have. We were quite intimidated when we were asked to make this series because you guys have so many good wildlife photographers and landscape photographers, you know, and the challenge was how to show you something new about your own landscape. So hopefully you think we achieved that. It sounds like you did. So.
Mark, what are you talking about being intimidated? If you're like, you produced already Planet Air, which is iconic.
I know, but it's, you know, it's getting harder and harder to show people new stuff anywhere, but particularly in North America. So we had to work really hard. And actually, you know, one of the biggest tools, as you know, we had was putting the camera on the jet to show people new landscapes and amazing weather, which, you know, Greg here was the cinematographer for and did an amazing job. I mean, he's seen things on this series that no one has ever really seen, you know, up close to crazy weather and just taking in the landscapes of North America. So he's the one I'm really jealous of.
The most diverse continent on Earth. This is America.
Greg, I was gonna ask you, I'm watching the series and I'm like, what are these shots across the landscapes across the air? I was like, are these planes? Is this CGI?
Thank you.
How difficult was to come up with this idea of putting the cameras on the jets?
Well, honestly, the idea was quite simple. It was more once we started building the jet, were the technical and the challenges and hurdles. I mean, they say, you know, anything with airplanes is, you know, 4 times longer than you think it'll be and 2 times or more expensive than you think it'll be. So it's kind of a big challenge to actually design and build the system. The original idea, I think Mark and our team and Mark and his team talked about it, and it was the concept was fairly straightforward as far as this gives a new platform for stability and dynamic 3-dimensional flight trajectories and paths that we can put cameras in entirely new spaces and illustrate the tremendous diversity in this country. From, you know, for example, from the Fertile Valley of California across the Sierra Nevada mountain range and the rain shield that dumps you into one of the driest places on Earth. And JET really allows you to be able to visualize that in one dynamic, kind of potent shot.
Can I ask you how you felt the first time that you guys did it and you saw the result and you were like, wow?
Well, I remember the time we actually got together in Monument Valley, and actually those shots are still in the series, but they were from our test flight. So those shots that raced through Monument Valley were like three years ago at Christmas, were they, Greg? I can't remember exactly, maybe more.
Yeah, it was 2019, December.
2019, and then we did these test shots, and that was the point at which we knew we had to use this technique on the series, and it's the thing that would give a new kind of look to our North America series. And as much as we've got great animals and really surprising behaviors, I think the things that will stand out to people probably are the way the landscape's portrayed and the weather's portrayed. And so those test flights in Monument Valley, all that time ago, yeah, that was the moment when we thought, this is really going to work. This is going to be new and fresh, and people are going to be blown away by it.
But one of my favorite episodes is the season finale, if I'm not wrong, is the one where you guys integrate humans to the story. And you talk about the heroes of that are trying to save and preserve our country and the planet and the continent. Yes. I love how you guys, there's I think a line that says that it's go from experts to everyday people. And I was like, that's so important and that's so cool. How was meeting all these people trying to save our country and our planet, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, that was really inspiring for us, actually, seeing these people who are, as you say, just kind of ordinary people doing small things that make a difference. I mean, you know, from the woman collecting all the golf balls, you know, from the bottom of the sea to, you know, the ex-fireman who's now using kind of software to track whales, or, you know, you've got the Gwich'in leader who is, you know, responsible for making that Arctic refuge kind of safe again. These people, those stories, they're so inspiring. So we really did want to include them and put them in the spotlight. But actually throughout the series, we wanted this to feel like a modern portrait of North America, you know, contemporary. We're not scared to show people, and, you know, you've got dolphins working off, you know, the Hollywood Hills. You know, you've got you know, mountain lions in the Hollywood Hills. You've got bobcats under ranches. You know, it's real North America. You know, real places. We're not trying to say that there are no people, or there's, you know, it's a wilderness and no one's out there. It's a portrait, hopefully, that everyone will recognize as being sort of true to how America is, and hopefully people will be inspired to protect it for the future, particularly through those stories of, you know, people doing kind of just little things that make a difference.
And let me ask you, you guys have worked both extensively, both in documentaries and in nature and in different things, but what surprised you, what still surprises you about the planet that we live in when you do a new documentary like America the Beautiful?
I mean, for me personally, it's amazing that there's always new stuff to unearth. I was really worried about making a series on North America because I was worried that we wouldn't find any new wildlife stories, and I was so wrong. You know, there are so many incredible new stories that we unearthed, and I think we're going to surprise people with, you know, just from, you know, bears in the swamps in, you know, Florida swimming through, you know, gator-infested water with cubs in their mouths, to, you know, pitcher plants that eat salamanders, to, you know, there's just so many incredible new stories that I didn't know we were going to find when we started this series. And I think wherever we go in the world, nature has got this amazing ability to show you something new. You know, there's always just new stuff, and it's the diversity out there in the natural world is incredible. Thankfully, otherwise we'd have nothing new to show people and I'd be out of work.
What about you, Greg, as the eyes of the project? What surprises you now?
I think, I mean, growing up, you know, with Marty Stauffer's Wild America and the camping that I did as a kid with my folks and all the traveling that I've done, I think still, you know, you have, you know, folks like Mark and Vanessa who brought us Planet Earth, and the task at hand of what we were trying to accomplish on this series. It was daunting. It was nerve-wracking. It was challenging. But in the flights, at least, were, from my perspective, it was sights and scenes and pictures and the dance of light and all the things that make a picture impactful was brought to be so much more dynamic than we would have ever thought once you start to bring in the post department and speed through the shots and bring in the cloud transformations and the ability to fly in complete darkness and capture the aurora borealis, which has never been captured from the air like this before. And it was just this profound sense of kind of commitment to the technology, but it just kept giving. And what we got to see, I mean, I feel incredibly lucky to have been part of it. And it definitely changed my perspective on where I live and what this continent looks like. It was pretty jaw-dropping most of the time.
And finally, before I go, I have to say that watching the series feels very healing, especially nowadays when there's like so much political turmoil and everybody's fighting on every side. Watching a series where it's just like nature and how beautiful our country is, it really feels healing and uplifting, and you almost forget about the rest of anything that is happening. So that
was very much the intention. That was very much the intention.
I do have to say thank you for making me escape real world but showing me real world at the same time and how beautiful it is. And I can wait for audiences to see it too, because I think that there will be healing for them too, and they will be inspired to conserve and save our beautiful planet.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Thank you so much, guys. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Adios.